Hey, you guys, Ginger Cook here, and I'm excited to tell you that our acrylic painting today, I don't know what we're painting because it's going to be a surprise. If you're watching this part of our live show, you won't know either. Maybe you'll have a clue if you're seeing the thumbnail later on, but just know that this is John's pick day, which is a Thursday. We're going to be not only going to be painting something I have no idea about, but someone in our live audience will, if you want to enter, you can then go ahead and enter and perhaps win this painting, perhaps win a Salvador paint kit. Some exciting things to tell you, and let's get on with the show in a sec. One of the features that is offered on our website and let's try again. Besides a certificate of authenticity on the paintings, which is really the best feature.
Yes, that alone. Now, Ginger, if that's not a way to start a show, I don't know what is.
Are we laughing again now?
Well, I'm laughing.
Okay, well that's good.
I'm the one that enjoys it the most, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, all right, John, sounds good to me. Well, we're going to be, let me start again. You see how this happens to me, don't you? Right? So here's the deal, you guys. I'm going to be painting something, I don't know what. We're going to turn over the paper here, and I'll bring both of these up here. This is John's pick. And and he's all excited. He suggested that these backgrounds might be good. These are little 6x8 canvases.
Real canvas.
And if you'll notice that he had a lot of choices, because this is our stack of canvases that we have been pre-painted from the leftover paint. And you see they're organized in a range of color. And that's neat. It's kind of pretty, isn't it? So, and then of course we have all our canvases. This is what we do with leftover paint. We don't throw it away. And you need an underpainting, and we'll talk about that too, because some of you may be new to the channel or have forgotten something. So, drum roll, please. You want to see what we're going to be painting?
Wait, let me back up just a scope.
John's going to back up. I want to mention something too.
Here we go.
These shows with acrylic painting tutorials are packed full of information, but there's a secret about whether or not you're going to absorb the information. I'll tell you that in a second.
Ooh,
what do we got? What's this? Ooh!
Oh, look at that, huh?
Look at that. Ooh, isn't that pretty? Kind of a grotto? Would you say that would be a grotto? With that's an Italian word. A little grotto there.
I'm going to give you a clue. It's not in that area of the world.
It's not in Italy. Well, the palm trees would be the first clue, but I'm just saying. But other countries have grottos, just not Italy.
Yes, they do.
And it's some interesting rocks, and it's sort of some other.
I gave you perspective, gave you depth, and gave you
beautiful colors.
It gave you beautiful colors. Now, we did get a present from somebody, we'll talk about that later, that gave us some colors that...
Was that what inspired this because of the
Well,
gift?
yeah, I saw those colors, I go, I'm going to spend the day looking for something that I can use those colors on.
Okay,
well,
then what's the other piece is the grid. Now, the reason that we do a grid is that if you want to have the reference photos for this, because we're not going to show them again during the rest of the show, if you're a member of our Beginner Acrylic Academy or Senior Academy, you also have a free membership to the beginner one, and just a basic supporter. You have access to all the Quarantine Quickies. You have access to all the YouTube videos, all the reference photos, and the actual paintings. And that's where these will be. John's son usually gets those in the next day, and this grid will also be in there. So that's pretty, John. I'm impressed with good pickies.
Good pickies. Ooh, look at here. I got good pickies.
So I just want to say, I kind of remember the colors, and I just want to mention it because these came John got these in the mail today from one of our members, Marion. She sent these to us, and this is the Charvin paint. It's French, and these were two of her favorite colors. They're called Tropical Green and Green of Nice. Green of Nice.
If that doesn't describe the color, I don't know what does.
Well, those are really pretty. So let's for the heck of it, I'll put these out. Mary, I think that's fun. Don't you guys want to know what they do? So I'll put those out along with some of our others paints, and we'll see what we've got here. But that's a very, very That's a very pretty turquoise, and this is sure a nice green. So green
Now,
of
is that a
nice.
heavy body or soft body? We never
They're
used
sort of a
those paints.
combination. They're sort of a combination
Okay.
of soft and heavy. They're kind of remind me more of the Salvador paints. Somebody mentioned the other day about the Salvadors, and they said, "Well, I liked it better before when you used the same colors." Well, if you've watched all the 300 other videos I've got on YouTube where I use the same colors, we taught you how to mix colors.
We taught you how to mix every color that's in there.
Every color there ever was. But why don't you know? Well, because here's the thing. I don't care how much information a teacher can give you. You cannot you cannot hear a question that hasn't been asked. So if you really haven't wanted to, you can't hear the question. I can't give you can't, well, look, not hear the answer. I guess that's probably what I'm going to say. You can't hear the answer if it hasn't been asked. You just can't hear it. So, and that's the same with anybody. If you're not asking the question about something, just generally, I want to know how to paint, doesn't do it. You've got to actually say, I wonder how I make a turquoise. And then you find that information. Because I could tell you 100 times, it wouldn't sink in until you've actually asked the question. Now here, that's a very pretty bright green from Salvador. I like Salvador paints. They're fine for these little small paints. We still use our Holbein in for our larger canvases and paintings.
But we did do the 4th of July.
For 4th of July, we did it all in these. And we just have been featuring these because
we like them.
Because not only do we like them, but they're such a great deal. You know what I mean? One good tube of paint, nice large tube of paint. Let's just talk about that. Say a Matisse or a gold, or a nice big paint tube can, run up to $20, $25. Some of them are $30, depending on the color, because you pay for the color. Okay, and so we just think these are nice, and they were good deals. So that's why we're showing these to you. Honestly. It's not, and also Salvador's been so kind as to be giving these away anywhere in the world. They've been giving these away, which is kind of neat too. So I'm going to suggest that it's for fun. Just go back and find some. Here, let's go find a playlist maybe on what we're painting water today. We've got we have a nice playlist on how to paint oceans and water. Go back and pick out one of my old videos. Not right now, but later, in the week, and see if there isn't some information there that you missed the first time around, that you didn't even get it because you weren't asking that question then. You're further along in your art journey, and now something's being answered you didn't realize you even knew you need answered, yeah? That's all. That's all we're saying here, which is, I think...
That's all we're saying. We're not going to say anything else for the rest of the night.
Now, Marion also did something else really cool too. I'm putting this out. She was full of gifts, and John will show you another one. But this one, I think this little bag is cute. She made this. This is a hand-painted refrigerator puzzle. It's 4 little refrigerator magnets, and you put them together. You have a puzzle. See, like so, and probably like so. Here you go. Don't you laugh at me.
I'm not laughing. There's no
better
laughter
not be.
going on here.
No. Well, anyway, we'll put those together later. But that's a refrigerator puzzle. I thought was very sweet. She handmade that, and that gets into the gift thing. We appreciate that very much. We appreciate the donations that came in last Monday, from our viewers, and we appreciate that much. That helps us keep going. We appreciate that very much. But we also challenged you guys about giving a gift to a stranger, maybe somebody, or at least somebody that maybe is having a hard time right now due to the circumstances of the world. Maybe it's your mail person that's always been bringing your mail, or your grocery clerk, or your UPS guy, or your neighbor that's living alone. And on our Facebook club, we did a challenge where we said, look, go ahead and paint something small, 6 by 8, like what we're doing, or maybe even a Salvador, or not Salvador, but Strathmore note cards. The Strathmore company makes paintable note cards with envelopes, and you can paint something on them. And if you're wondering about painting on paper, one of the tricks is to varnish it first, let it varnish dry, and then go ahead and paint on the paper, and it won't wick on you. All right. So.
No, it does say green of Nice.
It says-
N-I-C-E, not Nice.
Yeah,
They
green
thought
of-
it might have been Nice of France, but it's not.
Yeah, green of Nice.
Green of Nice.
But it may be pronounced Nice,
Well, you know those French.
which is sad considering I went to school in Switzerland and I speak a little French, but I'm, you got to give you that was 15, some years ago, right? So time flies by. So anyhow, we're giving away a really neat painting.
We are?
As part of a challenge. This one, little horse painting here,
Oh, yeah.
is part of our Facebook. It's been our Facebook challenge, but anybody can. You don't have to paint one of my tutorials. Just paint something that inspires you think somebody would like, and go ahead and submit it on our Facebook page. Read the rule to the contest. It's going on for a couple weeks, and then those of you who do it, if you do it 10 times, you'll have 10 times an entry into winning this original painting, and you won't have to be watching a live anything to get it. You just have to sort of still be alive and entering the contest. And so far, we've had like 6 people. So, no, really, honestly, Liz did 2. So we've had like 6. Nobody's been doing it, and I'm shocked. I'm shocked. There's anybody you like well enough to get out of your funk and paint something for? I'm shocked. Well, anyway, I told Liz, I said, give people a chance. Maybe somebody will show up with that soon. So
Hopefully so.
hopefully so, because we thought it was one of the things that happens is that there's a right and a left side of your brain when it comes to creativity. Did you guys know that? Yeah, it's true. In fact, there's a very famous book called Drawing on the Right Side of Your Brain, or maybe it's Drawing on the Left. I forget which. It's one of those, right? You're drawing, but only one half of your brain is playing at the same time, okay?
One is your logical side and one is your artistic side.
So for instance, if you're in your math side of the brain, that's what I like to call it, your math side of the brain, I think it's your left side, it's very hard to paint. If you've been doing books all day and trying to figure out how you're going to pay a bill and in that stuff, it's very, very hard to get into your creative side. It takes a little bit to switch brains over, and if you're not in your creative side, it's almost impossible to be creative. Well, there's a thought, isn't it, right? I mean, you wouldn't think that, but there it is. I've just explained it. So now you think it, right? Let me move this out of the way. So
so apparently it is Nice, even though it's spelled like nice. If that's French, but it doesn't say it's French, we have to interpret that it's French. So get off our case.
I liked it. I think my name was better.
I like nice better.
I think nice
Green
is
of
better.
Nice. I talked to Kermit. He was all on board with it. So
Green of Nice.
Green of Nice. I
Green
like
of
it.
Nice. Yes and
Green
yes.
of Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, we'd like to introduce a new member of the staff. I think you might have heard her. This is Chipper. New member of the staff, came all the way from Marion. Thank you, Marion.
Yeah.
She was able to answer all the questions and became a team player. Her and Morgan are now pals for some reason.
Oh. Well, I think that's pretty nice, John.
Yeah, I like it. Hey, we'd like to thank Miss Brooke for the donation that came in. What is the best way to donate? I heard about an app. We have both PayPal through our website, takes 3%, YouTube takes 30%, and we're looking at Zella. We've done some Zella, I think that's what it's called, and if you want to do that way, that's bank to bank, so there's no fees on that one at all. So you can use to contact us if you're interested in that option. We do appreciate any and all donations.
So again, we're going to be giving away at the end of the show. We're going to be giving away a brand new kit of the Salvador paints. They come with brushes and
A palette
knife and a palette thing. These are fun. These are fun for travel. They're nice paints. I think we just got to say they're nice paints. And there's there even is an international code you can use.
And that is in the description. And that is valid, they say, through the month of July, which I think we have another week.
I mean, I'm sure that I can be giving this stuff away forever, but people, and one person said, well, they're too soft body. Yes, friends, they're soft body paint. These are not a heavy body paint, but the pigments are very good in them. And for those of you who are having trouble with stuff drying out, they work very well. But I will say this much for you know, things that are drying out. I think I'm going to go ahead and use this blue. I like this blue. It's pretty. This kind of blue-green color. For those of you that are summer's coming on and you're having trouble, you know, with stuff drying out, right? Just get a piece of chalk. Screw this. There you go. There. All right. Those. If you're having trouble with things drying out, right? There are some artists on YouTube that teach acrylic art, and if you're watching like a bunch of us, you're learning a lot of contradictory things. Because no two people do the same thing. Not that one person's right or wrong, but I'm right most of the time. Just, you know, or I tell you something else. And the thing of it is if you use a lot, these aren't watercolors. These are acrylics, and if you're using a lot of water with your paint, it's going to dry out faster. Now, you can mist your paint that you put out. You can take a little mister, and you can, you know, something like this, and like this, a little mister, and just do a quick mist. You can take a paper towel. Here's another trick. You can take a paper towel and fold it like this. Just do an accordion fold. Okay, yes and yes, like so. Okay. Now, what you do is you wet this and wring it out, and then you lay it around the outside of your palette, and you put your paint on that. You mix in the middle. You put your regular colors on that. That'll keep that wet for hours.
I would suggest that on your heavy bodies and not necessarily on a soft body.
Yeah, the soft bodies do pretty well, but a heavy body, that's exactly a great
Yes.
trick. And if you're having one particular color that's giving you trouble, here, I'm just going to tear this and do one for you. Okay? I'm just going to show you. For instance, I'm using heavy body for the white, okay? So I'm just going to lay this right here, and I'll take a palette knife, and I'll just put that on here. See that?
Nicely done.
Like that. All right, so there you go. Now, that white is going to stay really wet for a long time. It's just a neat trick. And, you know, that's the kind of stuff, you know, and I probably have told you that before, but maybe you weren't asking the question, so you didn't hear it. That's what I mean about, you can go back, we have over 500 videos in our Academy of Fine Art and Acrylic Painting. For instance, and we release new ones every week. And this week we released 9x12 ice cream sundae tutorial. It's between a 2 and 3 cookie. Jon and I debated. You can trace it on, so we thought that gave you the 2 cookie status, but you got to pay attention a little bit to some glazing. It could be 3. But anyway, we'll show you how to do the glass dish and the bananas. That's just one of over 500 tutorials we have in our academy, step by step. Just my voice, no screwing around. Just you want to know how to paint, we'll teach you. But if you were to go back, and even if you've done some of them and an Art Academy member, you were to go back and just don't have to paint it again, rewatch a few, you'd be amazed at the information that's in all of these you may have missed. Again, because you probably weren't asking that question at the time you were watching it. Okay? So, kind of neat, right? All right.
Ooh, Chipper's just talking up a storm today.
Did she like that?
You did great.
All right, so...
Hey, wait. We have some thank yous to do.
We do?
Yeah. And, oh, man, it disappeared on me. Drat. Well, Elizabeth, Acrylics by Elizabeth, came in through PayPal. Thank you very much. And we had another one come in. It already disappeared. Oh,
it did.
There it is. I found it. A lot of talk going on today. And one from Sheila through the Super Chat with a cartoon dude.
Oh, I like cartoon dudes. Thank you.
I like cartoon dudes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much to the two of you.
Okay. So, if you didn't have this color green, a good green to use would have been phthalo green and white. Would have been a good one for background on this. Or phthalo blue and a bit of yellow.
Just
and
a
white
touch.
would have been good too. Could have done that. Okay.
Got to be careful. Don't want it to go too green.
So I've got a little bit of zinc white here, and I'm just going to paint it right over. Let's see what this does. Right over my blue. And no water on the brush, please notice. Whoa. Okay, no water on the brush. Now, that's okay, but I want it lighter, but not quite that light. So I'm going to put a little bit of this. I like this blue color. Let's put a little bit of that. Ooh, that's pretty. This blue color.
Got that new one?
Yeah, that's a new one. This was called Tropical Green. But honestly, it's the color blue you might. It's almost the color blue you might paint in a nursery. It's so pale. You know, I don't. It doesn't feel green to me at all, right? But I'm gonna paint that on there. That's pretty, okay? And then I'm gonna do a darker green here, down here like this. I'm gonna paint a darker green right there. I just didn't catch that at first, but we'll paint this darker green right there. That's another cliff, which we have to do something with. And now let's take a dark blue and green, and let's paint all this darker. Fun, right? That's just dark green and blue. So mainly, in our academy, we encourage you to not, when you're first learning to paint, there's no reason to buy greens. You can mix everything. So let's take a little blue that's over here. Let's make that a little bluer.
Carolyn would like to know, can you use a matte medium or a glaze instead of water or is water the ultimate way to go?
For what?
Hey, I'm reading the questions.
I don't know. I don't know. It depends what you're trying to do. Again.
Well, I think if you're trying to thin the body, now a glaze, that's going to thin it and it's going to make it transparent.
Yeah, the glaze probably isn't it. You can have a damp brush. I tell people to use more paint. You can have a damp brush, but it depends what you're trying to do. If you've got a lot of paint on your brush, you can use a damp brush. And it depends on how large the canvas is that you're trying to work. This is kind of a purple up here. One up here like this. Is that purple, or maybe that was black? I don't know. Here, let's try purple. I think that was black, but we want this to be dark anyway. We're going to put that down here like that. Almost looks like an abstract now, huh? So, yeah, let's do that.
The company is Salvador. It's the paint set that we're using right now.
Yeah,
There's
Salvador.
a link in our description of this video, and there's still a coupon code that still works.
Yeah, it's what was interesting about the Salvador paints, you guys, right? Which for us, what was interesting is that they sell that whole kit for under $25, and if you use their discount code, you get it under. A lot of times it's under 20, right?
Oh yeah, they've had it down to $16. A couple people got it for 15.
Yeah. So and on Amazon, and you go through our store and so forth, we encourage you to do that. So I mean, you've got some leeway here, as far as what you can do with this. Here, let's put a little more of this white paint on here like that. There we go.
Well, I guess the new paint question was in regards to those two new colors that Marianne.
Oh, these are called Charvin.
Well, come on, you know French.
Charvin, and they're extra fine acrylics. They're nice. I think I have another one of theirs somewhere.
Really?
I think I have. I have to look, but I think I have
it.
another one. They're not none of those fancy colors. So I'm gonna get some of the dark off my brush here. I think we said we like this. I'm gonna make this more sky here. I'm gonna kind of change the design just a tiny little bit and say this is still sky. So again, you see we're sort of laying this all out, and let's see, a little bit of white, and you see that now this white, that's pretty. That's a pretty green. Look at that. There's so many different shades of turquoise, aren't there? And it's just beautiful. And just see how we got our little river going back here like that. And as we come forward, let's take a little bit of blue and green, see what we can make. A little bit of white. That's a pretty, just the sort of blue and green colors. This is pretty. Ooh, pretty. I'm telling you what, I love all these teals and these greens. They're gorgeous. And then as we get back over here, we want this to be a little bit more in the shade. So this was a little darker blue over here. So let's see, a little bit of darker blue and purple maybe. Yeah, how about that? We want that over here a little bit on this side. Then we're going to go into the greens, take a little bit of yellow and blue. Yellow and blue make a very nice green. Let's take a little bit of this white. I think I will take my palette knife and just take a little bit of this white off of there so I can mix it with it. There. Move that over here. Okay. So, wow. You can get some beautiful greens, and you can mix a lot of these colors. You see this one right here, this beautiful green she got us, right? But I've come pretty close to making that, didn't I? Just with the Salvador colors. I used yellow and this light blue and a little bit of green color, and look at that. That's the color. So many of the things you can, if you're playing around with stuff, you can mix so much. I guess that's what I want you to know, is you can mix so much. Okay. So, any other questions, John?
Not at the moment, my queen.
Okay, so I think I want this a little bit darker in here, like that. And again, I haven't dried anything. I'm just kind of laying this out and kind of be overlapping some colors. And I think it's interesting. I think that people see a color. Back when Cinnamon was in junior college, they were going to cancel her art class because there weren't enough people that wanted to take it. Nobody particularly liked the instructor, and she was challenged. And so and again, there was just nobody wanted to take this art class. So I got a couple of my friends, and as adults, we monitored the class so Cinnamon would have her class. It was sort of fun. We did it together. And this lady was so funny because she was sitting there going, because I knew I could have kept the class, taught the class, and I just had to keep my mouth shut, just going, okay. Then you can learn something from everybody. The thing is, she taught me how to stretch canvases. I didn't know till from her. She also, taught me how to use artist tape. Those are every bit of that I've used, used. So what I learned from her was marvelous, right? But anyhow, she had a thing about collecting baby food jars, and back in those days, you can't even probably find a baby food jar now. But back when Cinnamon was in college, you still could kind of somewhat find them. Okay, not a lot, but you could kind of find them. Okay, so anyway, she said when you find a really good color, when you make a really good color, then you put it in a jar and you keep it. It never occurred to her to learn how to paint it again. Now that to me was hysterical. It's so interesting. I mean, I'm looking at her going, let me get this straight. So when you have a color you really like, then you just make a bunch of it and put it in the baby food jar. Is that what you're doing with it? She goes, yeah.
Huh.
And here's the thing. A good color depends on what you're doing. If you put one color next to a complement, that's a gorgeous color. If you put a teal next to an orange, suddenly you've got a really good color. Maybe the orange didn't do anything for you until you put it next to the teal. There's no such thing as a really good color. I hate to say that, but there just isn't. I keep losing my back mountain back here, and I don't know why I did that, but I keep losing my back mountain. But I'll put him back. I'm talking to you guys and not focusing. Sorry.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
That's not
But that's
good.
okay. But all right, you guys, we're hanging in there together. It's just us, right, today?
Yep, just you and me, kiddo.
All right, so we got anybody out there and
Well, Lisa's
YouTube
asking
land?
a question. Does anyone do an isolation coat before varnishing?
No, honey, no. Your Liquitex gloss, medium, and varnish is what you put first. All right, or you can.
That would be your isolation if you.
And that's you do 2 coats of that, and that's your varnish. Now, if you want to go ahead and spray it with another varnish, you could. I don't know why you would, but you could, right? And Golden makes a really good spray varnish for if you have a lot of rough, textured things. But this isolation coat is it's something that they're palling around on YouTube. You can look at the gold. Talk to Golden people, because I mean that's this weird stuff that's been going around on YouTube recently. An isolation coat. That's something you got to have that. Well, no, you don't. But what you do need is an underpainting. And if you're going to be painting on glass or something like that, you need some sort of isolation coat so that uh, so that your acrylic paint will stick to it, right?
It binds together.
You've got to be able to you've got to be able to have it stick on whatever it is you're painting. Yeah. So so then it comes up. Then the question arises. Um, when do you not do an underpainting? Well, you could not do an underpainting if you were painting on paper, and you wanted the white to show through, and kind of be that wick business. You know, that might be a time when you wouldn't use a when you wouldn't do an underpainting. But 99% of the time, you want a layer of acrylic paint on your. That's the most important, on your canvas first. And one lady was saying, well, she varnished, and she was varnishing, and what happened to her was that the paint started to come off. Well, there's all kinds of acrylic paint. And the cheaper the brands, and some of the student grade and some of these really cheap brands, they don't adhere to the canvas. Your best shot is to make sure you have an underpainting first, and then in that case, I would probably add a little bit of the gloss medium and varnish to the paint as I painted it, because you know what it does is that it binds one color to another like that, and it molecularly locks it. So that's probably when I would do something like that. Just saying, that's probably when that would be the most likely to come up, is doing something like that. Okay, so far so good with our jungle back here?
Looking good.
All right, so...
Jen would like to know, what is the difference between varnishing and a UV-resistant gloss?
Well...
The UV-resistant gloss is going to have UV inhibitors in it, where I don't believe that the varnish medium does. See, a lot of people use the Liquitex varnish medium, gloss varnish medium, put that on first, and then put a UV spray over it.
Well, you're not, look, here's where you want the UV spray is for prints and giclées and stuff, because they're going to fade like mad. And so people use that UV. The UV varnish is used mostly for giclée prints, because you've already printed it out. Even if you printed it on canvas, those inks are not the same as acrylics, and they're not going to give you the same happy experience. How's that? That you would have gotten on with just doing an acrylic painting. And one of the tricks that people will get a giclée is a machine that will go ahead and do a reproduction of your painting on the canvas. All right, and they fade. They just do. They'll fade. Then they were, you know how those got invented, John? I bet you don't know. I'll tell you. So, I don't know, 20, 25 years ago, when people were making prints of something, like posters and stuff, right? They had a machine that would print out the picture so they could see the colors. It was a special machine they could see if they had the colors adjusted or whatever before an actual final print. And they could get, on watercolor paper, it was so close you swore it was the original. If it was a watercolor, you couldn't tell the difference. And so from there they went to experimenting with giclée, means just to spray on, right? And so then they started developing. They found out they could do that on canvas, and they started developing different inks that when they first came out, man, those things faded like mad. And if you put them in the sun, just like, you can't put a watercolor in the sun. I don't care how much UV protection you put on it. You'd have to, or UV glass, you have a little bit better shot at it. But really, there's just some things you can't do. Yes and yes. And So anyway, so they kept changing the inks, and then I knew one company that made giclées, prints on canvas for like companies like Bed Bath and Beyond and stuff like that. And what they discovered was that they wanted your print to fade, so you'd buy something else. So they deliberately started making stuff that would fade. So you'd have to. The print was
You have
only.
to keep renewing it.
And so then giclée started getting a bad name because you didn't know what you were getting, and people were cheating other people, and then there was a whole thing about it, right? So, but again, the UV varnishes and stuff were designed for those giclée machines. Just try it because you really needed at least a UV coating on it. In fact, if you're doing anything like that, if you're getting any giclées made, for instance, when I used to have a big giclée machine, giant one, and I got to the point where I wouldn't use the I wouldn't varnish anybody's stuff. I would tell them what to buy and tell them to do it themselves because it is so easy to ruin a painting when you're using spray varnish. Did you know that? You can ruin one completely. And I'll tell you after I dry this how that happens. Would you like?
Ooh, that's a cliffhanger.
Well, I'm going to let this dry, and when I'm letting this dry, I want to just talk to our gal in Malta, because you guys know that every week, for twice a week, and during Quarantine Quickies, we did it every day for a month, 2 months. We gave away an acrylic painting every day, and we sent them all over the world. And we have this one gal that lives in Malta,
A little baby island.
in the Mediterranean, and she's waited for months. She got, here's her letter.
22.
She said, I would like to happily announce the arrival of my beautiful lily flower, Quarantine Quickie number 22. Remember, we did 60 of them, and that was like over 2 months ago, okay? She says, so she's probably waited like about 4 months for this or something, Which,
Forever.
the painting finally found its way to my home in Malta. I was losing hope, but my friends from our art family on YouTube always tell me not to give up and that I must keep my spirits up, and I'm so glad due to their support and encouragement. So, you guys, I'm reading this to you because you supported our friend here, Salva from Malta, and it was your support telling don't give up and so forth. I cannot express the happiness I felt when I found the brown envelope in my mailbox addressed to me. I could hardly open it without my hand shaking and my heart beating like a tractor. Ginger, it's absolutely beautiful with such vibrant colors, and the gloss varnish makes it more beautiful, as Jon always says. Yeah, that's the other thing about varnish, you guys. Varnish is your final thing you do. The gloss being even varnish actually pops the color back out, okay? I will think of you both every time I see it. And anyway, that's what she wrote. I think that was really nice. The letter goes on, but we appreciate that very much. I'm glad I know you guys were waiting on pins and needles saying, is she ever going to get her painting, weren't you?
I was.
I
Mona
thought so.
finally got hers too, and that was in Sweden.
Yeah, it finally made it. So we'll go ahead and send these out. If you guys are game to enter to win the painting, we'll go ahead and still send them out, right?
Yep.
We'll
Just
keep
be
trying.
patient.
If you believe us, we'll do it. All right, here's a little bit of mixing white to push this cliff in the background, right, like
Were you
that.
going to tell us something more about varnishing?
What?
You gave us a cliffhanger.
Oh, did I? Oh, yes, I did, sorry.
And do you remember
Oh,
what...
yeah, so here's the thing. The first time you use a spray can of anything, it works fine. First time. But then, did you know that you have to store your spray can upside down in the cupboard when you're not using it? No, but you didn't know that. Yeah, that should be upside down. And did you know that after you're through, you're supposed to point the nozzle upside down and spray it to clear it, to clean the nozzle? Because if that varnish starts clogging, it's a little tiny hole that's coming out of there, right? Then if that varnish dries inside that hole, what happens? Well, you're happily shaking the can and you're spraying it, and suddenly it spits and you get a big glob of varnish right there, a little drop of varnish.
Right on somebody's face or something.
Well, it's ruined. You can't get it off. You get it without smudging and ruining, because spray varnish is a little different. And you basically ruin your stuff. So, I always tell people, You know, you've got to be very careful with spray varnish. Yeah? You just, I mean, people don't realize that, John. They don't realize that you can really just so mess it up. Yeah? I mean, it's really,
Hold on a second. People are saying my face is in the painting. Debbie's saying, does John see the face? My face is in the right corner, right green. Do you see my face in the right green?
no.
I
Here?
don't either.
Distractions.
Nah. Good imagination, though. Hey, the other thing we got from Marion is she sent me a tractor. This little matchbox here. Take a look at that, huh? You guys are jealous, aren't you? Yeah, I know you are. And it works. Look at that. See? Probably can't see. No, you can't see it, but it does work.
Little matchbox tractor. Well, that's,
Yep.
that's good, right?
I think so. I think it's very nice. It was fun getting all those little gifties.
Okay. All right. So, cool. Coolness, John. That's great. I think this came in a bit here, but I don't think it matters. Does it to you? No, maybe it does. Let's just again, I'm talking to you and not really paying attention. I think
The
this
lower
this
side
cliff
next to the
came in
water.
like this. This cliff came in like this. We'll put this back. Like so. Okay, that came in like that. And let's make
Yeah, I
that
just
more
don't
of a
see it.
light blue color. Kind of a light blue, kind of a gray color. Okay, so let's do more of this color on here like that, part of this cliff.
Since you're the all-knowing, my queen, what about medium jars? Any tips to open them after they've been used the first time? The caps dry on like it's glue.
Of course, you can always dip your some people have suggested Vaseline on your jars to do that
the threads.
have suggested that. You can dip, my favorite jars are
Golden.
for some reason Golden's jars are really archival. They last forever. I suggest dating your stuff when you buy it, because chances are if you're buying something like that, you're not using it all the time, and so it may come where you're just really. See, I got something dark in here. I lost my darks, my cliffs. There we go. All right, this is an interesting place, isn't it? And this gets real dark right here. So there's our dark cliff right there. All right, so that's good. Right? We like a dark cliff. All right, so there we go. All right, I'm all happy with that. I haven't put my boat in yet, but we're still doing that. So.
Oh, no, you're doing it in layers.
Well, yeah, that's what we're doing.
Going from back to front. You don't go the other way.
Yeah, that's a lot of people don't realize that too. That they don't realize that that's the key, is to go in layers. Different parts of the cliff are going to do different things, and I want to. I'm very fond of this. These colors. I think they're really pretty. We could put another little layer of these colors in here. That's nice. It just never hurts. Okay, so.
You can't have enough layers ever.
Yeah, there you go. Just put a little bit over here like that. And now it's time to put our little boat in. I think I'm gonna just wing it with the brush. Shall I do that?
Ooh,
I think I'm gonna
you show
wing it.
off you.
I'm gonna just say this is the end of it here. Let's change brushes. Let's do a little smaller brush. Now I've got, this is a damp brush that I've wiped off. Okay, so I'm going to say this is the brush here, and I'm going to there's too much water on this brush. Try it again. And I said, but that's the bow, right? And it's going to come up here like this.
The bow would be in the front.
Well, that's the stern then. I lied.
Stern is in the back.
I lied. It's the stern. It's the stern.
You started at the tushy end.
I started at the stern. Yeah, I know all these nautical terms too. I went to summer camp. My Parents paid a lot of money for me to go to summer camp to learn all this stuff. Can't believe I would even make such a mistake. I mean, it's inconceivable. You know? Though sailing was never my favorite thing to do. Wasn't really anything I said, gee, that's what I want to do when I grow up is sail. But a lot of people do. But cruise, yes. Cruise, yes. Cruise, yes, for sure.
Hey, Ginger, do you prefer landscapes and seascapes to still lifes and florals?
Just depends on the mood I'm in, I guess, right? I don't
Kind
know
of do
that.
an equal amount of both.
Yeah, we tried to. You know what we try to do is what John and our goal, right? That John and my goal is to find things that are entertaining for you to paint, right? That's it. We like you know, we want you to find, you know, that's why we have so many different varieties. I love painting that banana split. That was so fun because I'd never tried to paint that before. That was huge fun for me to paint that. I absolutely loved it because again, I'd never tried to paint a banana split before, so you know,
A new challenge.
so it was more of a challenge, and then how to get that glass ice cream bowl, and then beyond that, right, how to show you how to do it, right? I mean, how to explain it so that that it would translate into to you knowing how to paint it too, right? So that, I mean, I think that's kind of, you know, that's the I'm gonna pull that up like this, okay? It's got a little thing like this, and then this is coming back over this way.
Chris Cross would like to know, why is cobalt teal so expensive? Probably the cobalt.
Probably the cobalt. You
The
pay
actual
for
minerals.
Chris, watch my Adventures in Blue and Adventures in Green, and you pay for. Here, let me just give you an example. They don't do it in the whole vine, but they do it, for instance, in the golden. Let's see. This is a quinacridone magenta. This is series 7. Okay. Now this is true of watercolor. This is true of everybody. Here's a. Let's see if I've got anything else that's golden here. All right, this is golden cadmium yellow, series 7. Okay. It's going to be more expensive. Series 1 for zinc white. So the
That's the
higher
cheapest.
the number, the more you pay. Because it costs them more to make it. Great explanation. So
It's got some more costly minerals in it.
You know, I was reading somewhere not long ago that that there's this the Winsor Newton has been making this one watercolor that's wildly expensive. Okay. A particular color, and they've been doing it for like a couple hundred years. That's how old, or at least over 100 anyway. Let's say over 100, okay? They've been doing that for over 100 years. And they make, it's upstairs in a secret kind of lab kind of stuff, and it takes them 6 months to make the color from start to finish. Well, you know, that stuff costs more. Bottom line, costs more. And there's a gal in Houston that wrote a book, I don't know, this was like 20 years ago, it's probably still valid. For instance, watercolorists have a bit more of a challenge. For most part, acrylic artists, if you buy a good professional paint, like the Salvadors or the Goldens or the Matisse or the heavy body Liquitex, for the most part, if you buy good quality paint, the whole lines, the colors are pretty much interchangeable for the most part. Some brands have their own unique colors, but they're pretty interchangeable. But in her book, what she wrote, she was explaining that you may have a watercolor color, says it's the same color, but in one brand it's translucent and another brand it's not. She had like an encyclopedia of what all these different colors did. So as a watercolorist, you couldn't just say, well, I use this X number brand paint. Couldn't say that. Anybody watch how I erase that? Rinse, wipe, swipe. Just saying. This is a kind of an interesting thought here.
Are they worth buying these colors rather than mixing a color that's close?
Well, I guess it just depends on you. If let's just say you're doing a giant painting of something, giant
Did you want
painting,
to
right?
mix that much, or
And you
would you rather
kind
it
of
came from a
wanted
tube?
that color through most of it. Might be nice to have the tube of it. Yes.
Yeah.
You can't. You know, the nice thing about tubes. Well, once it's out, you can't get it back in the jar, right? You can't bet it being. But you know, sometimes it's easy to overmix colors. So what I mean by that is you mix more than you want. Okay. I don't know. I think that's a personal decision. Well, for instance, we talked about this before about how I'm kind of thinking today that if you're buying paint in a jar, generally speaking, a jar of a color, it's cheaper. Just like anything else you buy in bulk. So you know,
Yeah,
if
it's
you're
the
buying,
packaging that costs so much.
yeah, that if you're buying something in a, so this is where I would want my, you know what, this is where I would want my, um,
Posca pins.
like where's the one that has the, what do we do with the ones that were full of paint? Were they in their own jar or something? The ones
I
with
was
the
not
paint
responsible for putting the pins away, my
pins?
queen.
Do you guys remember what I did with them?
Could you hold on a second while we go back to last week's show and take a look at it?
What did I do with those?
I didn't even see them when I was
Well,
cleaning up.
they look like this. Oh, this has a little thing. Yeah, we got a,
That's a gold one.
that's a gold one. That's kind of nice. All right. I'm going for that, man.
Going for gold. Hey, how's the puzzle going? Well, I'm glad you asked. We are closing in. I finally found the last people to get the last parts done, and I've been told I will have all pieces by the end of the weekend. So that means assembly will be coming up. So this one will be finally put to bed, and the new procedure will be a lot cleaner. We learned a lot on number 2. Learned a lot on number 1.
Well, what does that mean, John? I don't get what you just said.
Because you're not in the know.
Well, but you obviously said something, so then by now I should know because you just said it. So what exactly, when are we going to see this finished puzzle? We've just been, this has taken over a month. This is very sad.
We're doing what's called a community puzzle project. If you go to communitypuzzleproject.com, you can get a little bit more information about it. I take a painting and I divide it up into a number of pieces. And then I email the pieces out to the people and say, paint this for me. They paint them and send them back, and I reassemble them.
Okay.
And we're in the process now of this one. We had a lot of people that got injured. Things came up. This was a tough puzzle. This is our number 2 puzzle. It was a tough one to get through. People just had a lot of challenges. But I'm happy to say we are seeing the light at the end of the tunnel.
Which means what?
That means that if I get all the pieces back on Sunday, by Sunday I will start videoing my assembly of the puzzles. Which some people feel that's like watching paint dry.
Said I, yes, but okay, he was.
I wasn't mentioning any names, my queen.
Well, sure, but it's true. It just doesn't matter whether you mention the name or not.
But see, I have Chipper now, and Chipper is all excited. See? It's great to have a talking, stuffy staff.
This has got a little canopy on here, this little boat here. It's real cute. It's got a little canopy on it. Come on, you guys, it's adorable, right?
So hopefully this puzzle will be coming to an end. We can get to the next one.
Well, that'd be good, yeah.
Like I said, we have a whole new procedure, so it's going to be really pushed through, so to speak.
So you say now. So you say.
Well, again, it's going to be the third attempt, third way we're going to try it. We started on June 15th, so it's been over a month. That's a long time.
Okay, there's your little. Here's our boat. The nice thing, if you're having trouble making a thin line, make a fat one and then put a darker color over it. Did you guys know that trick?
Up to the edge of it. Squeeze
Yeah, right
it back
up to the
down.
edge, but then you got a little skinny line. Go, oh, that's so cool, man. How did you get the thin line? Well, yeah,
Trade
inquiring
secret.
minds want to know, yes?
Yeah.
So, let's, this was a fairly complicated little painting, my dear.
But I liked it.
I like it. You guys like it? You know, here we are. Normally we're, all right, so we've got,
You're not too far off target. I mean, you have the leaves to go.
yeah, we have the palm trees like
Yeah.
this.
I mean,
We want to say it's going back in here. And there's some light coming from this up here onto our boat here, which is right here. So it's got a little bit of this highlight. This is one that would be very pretty big, right? And it's got the little bit of a highlight going all the way through here like that, where the light's coming. And we want some darker turquoise green, a little bit more darker in this way. Let's just start playing with the colors here. This particular painting has more shades of the dark green and stuff. This is very interesting. I mean, there's a lot of colors in this picture that, you know, I'm sort of mixing the different greens and that are in here. And then you've got every once in a while you got where little light's been catching some little place here. Like along here like that. There's some light that's been catching it. Up here and up in here there's some sort of little light. That incidentally that hunk of white has stayed so like right out of the tube, the one I put on the paper towel. You know. So the question came up. It's come up a little bit on the what to do with your to varnish and underpaintings and all that. Do you think we answered that sufficiently, John? Do you feel
I think we've pretty much nailed it down. Why would you want an isolation layer? What's the purpose of it?
Yeah, so there are times, like for instance, when we paint on luggage, you want an isolation luggage between that and the surface. That's what your GAC 100 and stuff is, right? But what the Liquitex gloss medium and varnish does, what it does is it pops the colors. It brings all the colors out again. Then if you don't want it bright, then you can go ahead and do a matte medium on top after you've done that and kind of
dull it back down.
And dull it back down, see? So now we're getting some real depth in this, aren't we? Just sort of surprising, but we're getting some depth.
I think it's looking good.
Which I love, and we still haven't put the palm things in, but I like the. This is zinc white over here, which is a little bit lighter up here on some of this, where it's flatter. Okay, like that. There we go. So we got kind of an interesting blue grotto. I do like that color. That turquoise blue is very, very pretty. That turquoise blue green color is lovely. That's gorgeous. And again, though, phthalo green would be pretty too. And you can go back up in here like this and see what we've got. There was a kind of a shadow right here. I'm seeing that.
I believe this is a scene from Taiwan.
Taiwan?
Yep.
Sounds nice. Okay, so we got there. There we go. So we're getting there. Let's put some of this blue-green. Let's mix these two colors together. This light kind of green color. That's pretty, right next to the boat. Yeah. Kind of lighten that up. Put some blue next to it. Nice. All right. So I've still got the palm fronds to put in, and let's put back on here. I think a little bit more in the back of this boat right here. Okay. So there's our little boat. We've got some palm fronds. Let me just take a minute, John, and dry this. before we put, let me just show people again, we're putting in the palm fronds in the front, and we want to, well, I know one thing I can do, I can show you something. Let's get out the chalkboard, okay?
Ooh, the 3D chalkboard.
Yeah, I need this to kind of dry. What I'm getting out the chalkboard, here's what happens when people paint palm fronds. And this is where it all goes wrong.
It all goes
If you
south
think
as it
about,
were.
you know, if you think about a palm frond, and I can show you one right here. As you see the palm frond, you see there? What do you notice is that what I want you to see is I want you to see, can you see where's something white? Maybe bright yellow would work. All right, do you see how it's, do you see this shape here? Can you see that shape?
Kind of triangular.
So it's triangular, and you see that the, and there's a spine. You see that? There's a spine. Okay? Now this one, it's coming down, here's your spine, but again, triangular. Do you see that? So what does that mean? It means that these are going to be longer, and as they come down, they get shorter, yes? But what people do is that they'll do something, and they'll do, and they'll say, I don't know why mine doesn't look right. Or they'll come down here like this, and they'll go, they do like a comb. Or sometimes they'll just do this, like it's a comb, right? It's none of those things. Now, let's think about the triangle. You've got, you know, here's your triangular shape. So here's, you've got your palm frond coming down like that. That's your spine. You start with your spine, and you don't start at the edge of the spine. You start on top of the spine, and you start curving them down like that. Yes, and then on the other side, see, and they may be some crossover because there's probably more than one layer, but they come this way. Do you see how you have to paint them?
I do. I get it
Okay.
now.
You get it, right? So, I mean, that's some important stuff to keep in mind when you're painting something like this, you know, and you need to add that extra, because if you, at the very last minute, if you kind of don't have that, then you kind of don't have anything. So again, while I'm waiting for that to dry, Jon could be doing, I could do a hairdryer. I want to show you, this was our Sunday, our banana split Sunday. That's this week's DLL lesson, Academy of Fine Art and Acrylic Painting. This was the Wave and Water one with the little girl in the boat. Okay,
I like that one.
that's the Wave and Water one. I think that's really pretty. And then we've got some great tropical scenes. This is a painting we have on YouTube. We did this last year. I think it's like 10 by 10, but it's also one of our auction pieces. So we've got an auction going on, gingercookauction.com. And where you can buy some of my original paintings. You know, some of the bids started at $15 and went on up. Pretty much we made stuff affordable for everybody.
That's running right now through August 8th.
Yeah.
It's the last day of the auction.
And there's even some pictures up there that haven't had bids yet. Now, look, this was another one we did on YouTube for summer, and it's got a very tropical piece. You see the greens? Let me just do this for you. Do you see? Can I put the...
Pretty much the same.
Let me just show you the greens. Now, these were all done with just phthalo blue and phthalo green, just regular paint. And you can mix all these colors, you guys. You don't need any fancy colors. You can mix them all. Can you see that? That's all the same colors? I mean, you know, but so, you know, unless you're just in the mood to go shopping, here's another one.
Or if you're going to have to use a lot of that color.
Yeah, you have to use a lot of that color. Here's another one that we did on YouTube with the palm tree. See how we're doing this was another YouTube lesson that we had. Do you have any of the auction paintings out here? Because the Mexico Beach one is one that we did. This is another tropical painting that we have, a different blue. And then one of my all-time favorites, this is in the Academy. I'm wearing the t-shirt for that today, you guys. And I've got a t-shirt that says, "You got a Woody for art?" That's the one I'm wearing now. This t-shirt, that's in our Teespring store underneath. If you guys, you haven't, this is one of my favorite t-shirts we did. This is a palette knife painting of one of these old Woody cars from this, you know, the 60s, I guess, and the Beach Boys and so forth. This is neat. If you have, again, Academy painting, great one for summer. All right.
Those are on the auction.
This is an auction piece right here with the palm trees. So if you really want to get a close-up of how one might paint something like that. And then this was a YouTube lesson we did. This is, let me just turn this over. Cozumel, this was in Mexico with all the purples. And that's actually a lesson on YouTube, but it's also one of our auction pieces. We're auctioning off this original beach painting. And the background on this is violet. It is absolutely gorgeous. Again, I want you to look at the colors. These were all done. Look at the colors in the water here and here. Do you see we haven't done anything mystical here. You can get that with your regular phthalo blue, phthalo green, white, yellow. Just
nothing mystical here.
This is nothing crazy. It's just how much yellow or white you add, right? Yeah. So again, do you have to go out and buy all the fancy colors? No, you don't have to.
It really boils down to if you need a lot of one color.
Yeah, you need a lot of one color, get it. And also learn to mix your colors. You know, take a moment and learn to mix colors. One of the things, let's see, let's just move all this up. My banana split. One of the things I liked about my banana split was it's part of a series of food paintings we have done in our academy. And you'll notice this background, this beautiful background. We actually have a video on YouTube on how to do a background like that before you ever try to do the rest of it, okay? But I want you to see this is an academy lesson, and this background is done in the same way. So the thing about it is that, I'm telling you what, if you're using a lot of water on your brush, you will never get this, ever. Won't even happen for you. So learning how to paint with acrylics and an oil painting style, boy, that's priceless. Sorry, that's my 2 cents worth, you guys.
Off the soapbox, Queen.
Well, I'm sorry, but that's, all right, it's dry too, look at that. So what did we say you had to do, right? Well, what you've got to do, let's see if I can find the one that's gridded. You know, I've got one kind of coming down here, and I've got a couple coming in this way. So now we have to ask ourselves, do we want to do that? Yeah, let's do that. That's fine. So I would take a damp brush, and I'm using an angle, and I'm going to start off with my darkest green. So this is where I might miss my paints again, because they've been sitting out under hot lights. And I might take a dark blue and a green, maybe a little bit of red in it. And I want my darkest, deepest green, okay? And that's going to start, and I want to figure out where you want to start. Like make a dot, and where do you want to end? Maybe right here, okay? And maybe make a dot in the middle. Make a few dots, and then just come along here like this, and put that spine in, okay? And let's do it again. Let's see, I'm going to start right here. I'm going to end here. I want this to curve. So do a few dots. Okay. And we'll start with those. And then let's just start with, well, we've got one back here. We're going to just do it kind of the way the picture is because it's kind of fun. I've got this dark green color, yeah? And I want to come in this way and pretend like there's one back here. It's just over here like that. It's over here in the background, okay? And now let's go ahead and what's neat about this one is these were larger in the front, you know, like this up here. These were larger, came back here off the top. I think I need another brush. This one is, I've lost the edge on that, so let's try another one. Alright, so here's my damp brush. Now, I'm going to even though I'm using a big brush, look at the thin, I could have used a dagger brush too, you guys.
Another one of your faves.
Okay.
If I have any of my beta people out there for the design program, I did send out a quick little email today through the system. Make sure you read that. And we're getting close to have you going back onto the website and participating in a quick little questionnaire to get things rolling. As for the beta group, you know who you are. You are a private group.
All right, now here's my dagger brush. I'm going to show you that one too because this is a bit more of a challenge, and here's why. I'm out of paint, and that would be the first one. But the other challenge is, let's see if I can find some dark green here, is, oh, that's white. Where did I grab that for here? Again, this is going over something fairly, some textured underneath, right? So here we go. There's, just go slow, right? There's that one. Let's do another one.
We have a lot of new people in our live show today, and a lot of people are trying to do. We always have underpaintings, and they have a lot of different colors to choose from. How do you know what color am I supposed to be using?
Well, some people just use it. You need something on there for it to grab. But if you're going to do a sunset, for instance, you'd want yellow and light colors. If you're doing a dark forest, you'd want your darkest colors first. And if you're doing an ocean, you'd probably want to stay in the blues. Though there is an artist that swears that if you're doing an ocean painting, that you should paint the water, you should paint it red first. Swears that that's what you should do.
Now we did an experiment where we did two very different backgrounds, and there was a different result.
Yeah, a lot of it is, how are you viewing it? What are you doing? What are you seeing? These get very thin up here like this, as they down toward here, like that. They're getting very thin, and I think another one for some balance here. We've got one coming over this way. So we're looking at this through a canopy of trees. So the background has to be light enough for these to show through. That's why we did all that yellow stuff on the background. Could have even lightened it up more, but that's all right. I can wherever there's a light, there's a dark. So if I don't have quite the, lightness I want, I can come back here and add some of that too. So that's just one thing. So it's something you can do. I'm not sure that I would fool around. Having done this, John, I'm not sure I would put these in. I don't think it adds enough. It's okay,
that's what the consensus has been too.
Huh?
A lot of people say just leave it the way it was.
Yeah, I think you certainly could have. Certainly could have left it the way it was. Let's put a little bit of the. Now we got to get a little bit of color on this. This is where you've got to start becoming an artist and deviating from the for the photograph when you're doing stuff like this. And the reason being is because wherever there's a light, there's a dark, and you want to. Palm trees are never just one color. I always put the darker colors on first. They're never just one. And just saying that there's something coming out here like this over the top of this, like that. So, that's, I think for having never seen this picture before, we're doing pretty good. What do you think, John?
I think you're nailing it.
But orange and turquoise are complements. So I like the brighter palm frond here, and here's that. Where's that nice green she did? That's that one. All right, let's see. Let's play with this for a minute. Let's just put that into the water here and bring it down a little bit closer. And
I like the feeling of depth that it gives it.
Well, it does, doesn't it? It does give it some depth, particularly when you're saying you don't see the top of this, you don't see the top of the sky here. It's all dark. See, like that. So now you've got this sort of, you're looking through this sort of, into this forest of, put a little bit of red here. There you go. You're looking through this forest of palm trees into like a cove, and then it becomes kind of interesting, doesn't it? Yes and yes. Okay, let's put a little of that color over here. See, I'll still keep into my greens here, up here like that. And bring this down like that. There you go. So what do we? I'm just kind of using up some of my colors here now so we can see it. Okay. So I think we've got the feeling of that, don't you, John? Now
Yeah, I think you did a great job.
you know, maybe we'll just do something like that and do a little bit of something pretty light there with our colors.
I'm quite pleased with it.
Are you?
Mm-hmm.
You happy with how it came out?
Yeah.
Went a little bit lighter back there. And
And
again,
a little
this
bit
white
more-
paint, I got to tell you, this white paint is staying beautifully white.
It's staying nice and moist.
Yeah, very moist, very nice. Okay. I almost feel like it would be, you know, this is kind of my picture, so I can do whatever I want, right? Is that what
It's
you
your
said?
picture until I grow all winter. We have a comment here from a new viewer that says, can she show us how much paint she puts on a brush?
Yeah. We can. All right. So there's a little waterfall in the background. Do you think it needed that? There might be one back here too. Why wouldn't there be? This is a place where there's.
Why wouldn't there be?
Well, I mean, this is, you know.
There should be.
You know, some little waterfalls back here. This is a tropical paradise here, right? That's my story. I'm sticking with it. Yeah. And I love the stagger brush. To just for the highlights of it.
For fine tuning.
For the fine tuning of it, if you need to do something like that, and just put a little. See, you know, you want the little bit of light right next to that boat right there, and see how it kind of brings it out, which is, I think, kind of nice. I'm barely putting any paint on here at all, just barely putting anything on the tip of the stagger brush. This, if you want to know, these are a must-have. This is a Silver Brush Company 1/4 inch short-handle dagger, and I love these. If you need some small, tiny little lines, that's the brush.
That's the ticket.
Absolutely, that is the brush. So back there, and then let's pull something around here like that. Still think there should be more waterfalls, but you know, if this was bigger, man, I'd have some serious waterfalls. I want you to know that. I'd have some more waterfalls.
You have waterfalls everywhere.
I would. So I'm going to put our little house back in the boat, yeah. And in the photograph, this is lighter under here, but I think that, you know, our center of interest is the boat. I don't think we have to do too much more to this to get the feeling of. Let's see, what is this paint color right here? This orange is a little bright here. Let's just tone that down. There you go. Just take that out. Didn't need to be there. But we've got the feeling of, oh, there's no birds. Oh my gosh, how could we have this and no birds, yeah?
I will let you have a bird if you put a tractor in there. Don't know where you're going to put a tractor, but...
Well, I don't understand where my white paintbrush went. Here, that's not
Did you
it.
find
Oh, here
it?
it is. I found it. Ha ha. These are the Posca pens that have the, that are actually brushes. The trick is you don't want any pressure at all. Okay. Now.
Oh, that's the new brush one, yeah. Yeah, you put pressure on it, it's going to flatten out like a, and give you a wide brush.
Couple of birds there, yeah. Gave it a little depth. Make a tiny one back here. Okay. So I got some birds. We don't got any guy in the boat. He left. We
He's
just
swimming.
got the boat. There is no boat, but the top of the boat in the photograph, is that light enough, that boat there? Do you think the top of that is light enough?
Yeah, I would not go any lighter.
All right, so he's pretty good there, right? Yes and yes, so we're all happy with that, right? We'll use some of these fun little paint colors. There you go. Fun, John. I think I would say we were just about ready to call this one finished. Kind
Cool.
of happy with it right there. We got some waterfalls coming down. We got some. Could have done one here too, but we're okay. Could have done a waterfall there, but you know what? Could have done a lot of things and we didn't. But you know, for 6x8, you hung you in here with us for a while, which is all good, right?
Absolutely.
And so then, what did we learn from that? Yeah, there's some wonderful colors here, but could you mix them? You bet. Phthalo green and phthalo green are must-have colors if you want tropical colors. Ultramarine blue is a good color to have. Those are my main blues in my normal paintings. Is phthalo blue, ultramarine blue, red shade if you're using Liquitex, and green shade if you're using Liquitex. But most everybody else is just phthalo blue, phthalo green, and ultramarine blue. Those are my main blues. I could pretty much make all the other blues from that. Okay? Pretty much can. So there you go, you guys. There's our tropical.
See how many people are looking for this fine piece to call their own.
Yeah, so we got some people that are entered in to win this, our little cove painting.
340 at the moment.
So here's our cove painting. Here it is, right here, right? And I think we got it, right?
I think you did a magnificent
I
job.
think we feel like we've got it.
Once again, you've outdone yourself, my queen.
Uh,
I don't know how you do it.
Well, you know, I love. You know what? I'm wondering if we can't do something through our Facebook club where maybe we'll talk to the girls of our moderators about maybe setting up a. I'll start a post with a what would you like Ginger to paint on YouTube, and you can send me photographs, but you have to say where you got them because we can't violate copyrights, right? So might be fun, right? And you want to, you know, we'll think about that for maybe later on in the summer. I think I want to.
My queen,
What?
the summer is coming to an end.
No, it isn't. I have lots of summer left.
You have August.
I went swimming today, all by myself.
Yeah, some of us had to keep working.
I know. I went swimming though, man. I did. I went swimming all by myself, and got a little sun for about 30 minutes, and I'm very happy with that. All right, you guys, here we go. We're gonna.
What are we calling this one, my queen? Give me a title.
What should we call this? I don't know. I think it really should be Thailand Grotto. Don't you think so?
Gee, really?
No, no. I don't know. Maybe somebody's got some ideas. I give up. What should we call it?
Well, I have a winner for it. I don't have a title for it.
You don't.
I don't think
Let me
the person from Sue something. What'd she put down?
Where's she from? When you're looking.
Sue Lookout.
What's her name?
I didn't say the name yet. I told you where she's from.
Where's she from?
Sue Lookout. Winner
She's from a place called Lookout.
Painter Sue Lookout. That's what she wrote. Of the painting.
Well, we need to know what state she's from.
Wait a minute, give me all the titles now. Okay, Patsy Ray's the winner of it. Tropical Cove, Blue Lagoon, Paradise, Yes Grotto, Taiwan and the Palms. Blue Lagoon came up twice. Paradise.
I like one of the first ones. I like that one. There was one of the first ones I really liked. I know that doesn't help you, but I did, right? It was,
What days do you do the Wave and Water class?
our Wave and Water Master Class is in our Academy of Fine Art and Acrylic Painting, and you just sign up for it, and it's self-regulated. You just paint, you know, one or two beginner lessons up to advanced lessons, and you just we add a new one every month for Wave and Water. So that's part of our Cadmium Fine Art and Acrylic Painting. And this is, we always say, this is where acrylic artists learn to master their craft and become, you can get real, telling you what, you can get really good at this stuff. It's fun. And it's just, I think one of my students, I think, has made some of the most progress this year is Wanda Spratt. I mean, she's done amazing. She started with Wave and Water, didn't know the first thing about it, and has just gotten really good. The last thing she sent me was terrific. So, I mean, it's a teachable, it's a doable thing. In goes the red slash.
I've got a winner for the Salvador paint set.
You do?
And they're from Newfoundland, Canada.
Oh.
Who has a hard time getting this, so she ought to be tickled pink. Do they have pink in there? Oh, Hidden Paradise. I like that one.
Hidden Paradise. I think that's good, right? Hidden Paradise. That's nice.
Jolene came up with that.
I like that.
I like that one. All right. Winner of the Salvador paint set is Patricia Pierce.
Oh, and where's Patricia from?
Newfoundland, Canada.
Wow, so it's going to Canada again. These are hard to get in Canada, so congratulations on that. Somebody had mentioned, too, if you're sending something to Canada, have them say it's a gift. And then you don't...
That works so much sometimes.
Sometimes. You never know, though.
You never know with them.
You just don't know. But anyway, congratulations, you guys.
Okay, so all the winners out there, please email me your mailing address.
So, and be sure to, you know, I'll tell you what, here's the question. I'm going to ask you to go back and look at an older video on YouTube and tell me, and the question is, what new thing did you learn that you didn't know before?
That's a good one.
Maybe you learned something tonight you didn't know before, too. I'll take that, too. What did you learn that maybe you didn't know before? Okay? And some of you that didn't learn anything and don't, you know, what is it you want to learn? How's that? All right? So, anyway, thanks, you guys. And I hope you enjoyed this, and we appreciate the subscribe button. If you want to hit and subscribe, share these videos with others. Let the world know that you think that this is a fun show to watch and be entertained by. And we'll see you next Monday at 5:30 Central Time.
5:30 Central Time, next Monday. All right, my queen, I think we're out of here.
Yep.
Chipper, anything to say?
Bye.